Hello everybody, this is Tracy Markley from Tracy's Personal Training, Pilates and Yoga, coming to you again. This time I'm going to go a little deeper into some different ways to help get the hand moving again and the arm. So as I've shared in the past and in my books and different things, your hands, when they're not moving after the stroke, some people, they can't move the arms at all. Some can move a little bit. Some their hands are more flexed and everything's up here, and some are out stiff, or their arms up here, but the hands straight. There's just very many variations of it. And let me tell you why. So I printed up some pictures that I needed for the arms to show you for this, but I ran out of ink, my colored ink. So it's in black and white, so you guys need to get it from that. And let me get my glasses on. Okay, I don't think many of you are aware how many muscles are in the arms. You have muscles that flex the arm, flex the elbow, ones that flex the wrist, ones that flex the hands and the fingers. You have ones that extend them. So remember, flexing are things coming in, extending are when things go out. So for those of you who your hands are tight here, your brain's already knows that. And it needs to connect a movement back to that. And the mix of it all, because you may have a little movement. It's like I'm saying, everybody has such a different variation of it. I don't think I've worked with any stroke survivors that all have the same conditions with their hands or their body. It's all different. So here is, I'm going to show you a picture. The first picture is your arm right here. It's going to show the deltoid, muscles down the arm, the tendons, and how they all go to the hair. And this, so I'm showing you the extensor muscles, the muscle to help extend things. So if you look right here, here's your deltoid, which is your shoulder, which is right here. Remember, that muscle helps lift. You know, your shoulders, your muscles lift, they go down. You have muscles that help bring the arm back to the body. You have muscles that help lift things away from the body. You have ones that work together as a team. You have some muscles that help turn the upper bone, move the upper bone, ones that move the lower bone. So I think that's why a lot of people have a hard time coming back in their arms and hands, because it's not just the movement of moving their hand. Your chest muscle helps move your arm. So that's why I'm going to bring you some stuff today to help you. Okay, so just here, this, like I said, here's the deltoid. You're going down the top of the arm, and you can see part of the bicep. You can see how muscles from up here actually cross over and help down here. You have the ligaments. You have all the muscles in your wrist. You have all these ligaments and all these that come down and move your fingers. Then you got muscles in here. There's a lot going on. So just working on one movement in the hand is not going to activate all these other parts that help move your arm. And so now here is, if you can see it, is the hand turned over. So it's going to be like here. Sorry, I'm doing the camera on my own. So this is going to be like the inside of the arm. So you're going to see, and just the other view of what's going on. You got the biceps, you got the inner part of the elbow, and then the other muscles that help flex and come in. So there's a lot going on there, a lot of muscles. And here is a labeled one, which you don't have to go, but just if you're looking here, and the words are probably backwards because the camera's backwards with the cell phone, but just look at all that. That's a lot of muscles that need activated for movement. That's why you got to hit the hand in all these different ways. And then whatever one starts working for you, you do it and you add the other ones in. Because you think of all the movements your arm does. It lifts, it swings, it's a ball and socket, it goes in circles, it flexes, it does all kinds of things. So you have to try to activate all different kinds of movements. And you don't always know which one's going to be the one that mainly starts you to get better. It's working with it and seeing what's going on. I know that doesn't help, but it does help to know, but and so here is like the side view. So you're just the side view of the arm. It's like the same thing I've been showing you, but you can just see how, this is the hand, in this position, but upside down. So if it flexes, it's going to come in this way, or it's going to open up. So there's just a lot of stuff in here to get going. So if you have spasticity in just certain muscles throughout the arm, it's going to be harder. And then just to add this in, so here's your chest muscles. The pectoris major helps with the arm movement too. So one thing I'm going to show you today, whether you do it on the side of a counter, against a wall, on a bar, on the floor. It depends on your ability. Some people's arms can't hold you yet, can't make that firm hold. Some people's arms can hold firm, but you can't make it move. So I'm going to give you different options and different things to try, and it's going to be based on your level. But the better and stronger you make your core, like I share in all my other videos, and your spine and your posture, the more power you're going to get in your arms. It's just how the body works. You can't be in poor posture here and expect the connections and the brain going to the spinal column to send messages out to the body to move if you're curling up the part where the nerves come out up here. Okay, so let me show you a few different exercises. One, and again, you have to go your own level. Some of your hands, I know, can grab over something. You may have to help it, but you can get the grip. Some people's hands, you can't get the grip and you have to hold it. So I'm just going to go through several different things. And as you're doing them, you're going to be activating the muscles of the arms and the chest and the wrists and the hands and the fingers from all different angles. And so the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to go over to my bar. So like I was saying, some people hands grip, some don't. Some, it's all different. So without anything, you could hold on to a countertop, maybe a side of a table, a chair, something where you're safe and you want to keep your core in. If one hand works real well and the other one needs to position, start working if you can and getting your body to get some push-ups going if you can. The unaffected arm may work harder, but if this one can follow the movement, even though this one's maybe doing all the hard work, the brain's gonna start trying to make it do what this arm's doing. So you're gonna activate push muscles and muscles like maybe if you leaned against the wall, where you're like just firm and have a hold and getting this going. Like I said, some people have the strength, some people don't. Some people's arms will follow the movement, even though you don't feel it working or there's not strength there. If you can hold on to something, it tries to mimic the other arm. Some of you, the arm may not want to work, but work with it. The more you try to do different angles, the more chance you're going to have to come back besides just squeezing something and just working the hand. Because if you think of looking at children development, babies, or people around us who haven't had strokes, or your arm that hasn't been affected, it moves all different angles. And if you think of a baby developing, picking up stuff, it doesn't just, it reaches, it rolls, it curls over here. The arm does everything, and the brain makes connected to all these different muscles needed to make the movement. It's not just the hand, it's a bunch of stuff involved. Okay, so back over here. Again, through everything I'm teaching today, even if I don't repeat this again, it depends on your level. Be safe first and keep your abs in. So for example, anywhere in here we're doing any kind of a push-up effect, your body is straight like a plank. So I'm going to show you right now what not to do. So no matter where you're at, you're not going to let your body come in and out. When you come down, you're not dropping your body in. You're going to keep your body strong as a board. That way you're working your core at the same time and you're not going to hurt your back. So you want to be here and press in and out. This is straight as can be. Don't arch your back. Don't tuck your butt. Just get your abs in and keep your body straight. That will keep your core going, but that will also have your brain saying, activate here, keep this strong, move your arms, which is what you want. You want the brain to send message all over, get it fired up, stimulate that nervous system. So with what I just did over here, you can do that on the BOSU ball, on a balance disc, on balance pads. So if you have a BOSU ball, put it in a distance where you can get the right angle. And when you're doing any kind of pushing, so if you're pushing on a wall, pushing on a table, pulling, always line your hands up with your chest. So don't do your exercises up here, do them here. If you're doing a push-up, whether you're doing close arms or wide arm, keep your hands at chest level. If you're doing some band work or something and someone's having you pull, chest level, right through here. Don't work up in here. Don't have your shoulders in your ear. Good posture, stay in here and do what you can. Even if you're just sitting around and you're just trying to work your hands squeezing balls, have your shoulders in proper alignment. Because I just showed you all those muscles. If you take all those muscles and you just squish them here, or you're holding them up in your ear, you're not going to get the natural function and communication down those muscles to bring back things that need to come back. I hope that's making sense. Okay. For instance, I put the BOSU ball a little further away than I would if I'm just standing there balancing. My body's still in plank position. It's not going to go up and back. I'm out from my chest, tummy zipped up, and going right through here. This hand on some of you may not grip, but you may, it depends on your hand. You may start developing a little strength here where this starts to activate. Then you might start getting some of these muscles coming back first. I've seen it happen. I've worked with clients. I have a man right now, I think he's the hand I've shared a couple weeks ago in the group. His hand was just straight, and he's in his 80s, just nothing, no movement whatsoever. As his posture's coming back and he's working on stuff, it's almost 2 years post-stroke too, in his 80s. Things are starting to wake up. Just the last couple weeks, he's able to get this hand up, not very easy, he has to help it like this. This part holds on to the bar pretty well. These aren't grabbing completely up, but they're getting to here. But as he's doing it, I can see this starting to fire up. And now, Friday when he was here, he can move his thumb a little bit. So there's many options to come back. Work on this if you can. If one arm's stronger than the other, keep your core really strong so when you go up and down, you're not swinging. So you're working core, abs, brain, neuro, balance, everything at once. So again, just come right through here. Doesn't have to be very far, just enough that it works for you. Go where your hands work, but make sure they're even. Don't have one hand way over here. Even your hands with your body. So the closer you are, it's more tricep. The more wider you go, it's more chest and shoulder. It's just, and play with it. Do what you can. That's one option. You could, if you can't have a bar, or maybe you're still going in and out of wheelchair or whatever you're working with, however it is, you can be able to stand at the kitchen counter and do some, possibly on a wall. But try to straighten your elbows out completely. Especially if your range of motion, you're still having a lot of problem in here. Try to get your body to push that open. That's extending. You're extending these open. Remember, flexion is here, extension is there. Our bodies work with flexions, extensions, abduction, which means you can go away from the midline of the body, adduction, adding things back in. So, plus push-ups work the chest. The chest muscle helps move the humerus. Your humerus is this top arm bone. So you need a bunch of things activated to make the arms come back. Okay, another thing that we do, options of battle ropes or bands. I love battle ropes. They do a lot of things. I showed a video the other day of pulling the ropes through here. If you're able to do it, work on it. This hand might take a while to grip, it's your brain trying to do movements. Okay, with the battle rope, I'm going to show you, and in my book, I have a whole chapter on them, how the grips work, how to hold them. So I'm going to show you some of the waves, and then the tsunamis where you slam them. But with the rope, say like one hand, if you're able, your hand grips, and try to keep your other hand, you may not have the movement, but if you can get yourself to grip on here, your other hand will do the movements and this one will follow it. And in time, the brain will try to make the movement on this side by itself. Now, depending on how your hand grips or doesn't grip, or if it has pain when you're doing it, you have to work through what you have. Some people can hold the hand that's not working the best, your affected side, with the other hand and make it mimic. It will depend on the ability of what you have, or your grip or your strength. So Don't be bummed out. There's some things in this video you can't do. I'm just giving several options out there. So this is in my book, and this is in some other, well, may not be in the videos. So when you hold a battle rope this way, in this position, and you're here doing them, this is more triceps and the push muscles. When you hold the ropes more this way and you're doing them, it's more the pull muscles, which is like the biceps and pulling things to you. But depending on you, do whatever grip you can make it happen for you. Do them both. Do everything you can. Even if you only get like 10 whacks out or 5, keep working way through things. You can buy these on Amazon for 20, 30 bucks. So I have a little pole here. I wrap them around, so you can work 2 at a time. What I did today to show you, I wrapped them on there so I can show you the handle on this one. And I'm going to come back here with this one. So you can do this standing. You can do it in a chair. You can do it in a wheelchair. You can do it sitting on a ball. You can do it sitting on a BOSU ball. They're all going to work your body, but you have to do the one that works safe for you, and you want to keep your abs in and control your posture. Don't let it go like this. If you're going to squat down, get your abs in, squat a little bit, and then you're going to be in here. I'm going to face this way. The goal of the ropes is you're getting the movements, but think of it as you're trying to make waves. So, and I made the rope really short so you can see it in the video, otherwise it's quite longer. Come in a position you can, your abs are in, and you're going to do this. Or you can take your grip the other way and do it this way. And you go for wave. Or, these are called tsunamis, you slam it. And depending on your body, you may just be standing up and doing this. That is okay. This is a 20-pound ropes, there's 30-pound ropes, there's 40-pound ropes. You get weight resistance. And if you go back to the last post, I wrote about how battle ropes work with you. So basically when you're doing these, you're anchored your feet in the ground, your abs are in, so your body's stable. So your brain is stimulating all the muscles throughout your body to keep yourself stable so you don't just fly around. That's good. And then when you're slamming, you're working with gravity, you're working with staying, the weight, the rope's coming up, the rope's going down. A lot of things are going on. And in the meantime, you're also working your arms, your shoulders are moving, you're activating those muscles I showed you in the picture. When you're gripping, you're getting some of this activated. So you're doing a lot of things with these. If you can do them, try it. I have some clients, they can't use one of the arm jets, so they'll just do some standing in here or sitting just to get things moving on the outside to get it stronger too. Do what you can. Go for all these different things, and I'm going to show you more. Now, if you have a BOSU ball and you're able to get up and down or someone can help you, well, you can actually stand on this and do it too. That makes it activate a lot. So you can actually, depending on your level, stand here and do them. A lot of things you can do. But this is used common with brain injury and stroke survivors in real good neuro rehab. Some people may need someone with a gait belt to hold them, but you can sit on the BOSU ball and work on it. It's got to activate your whole body differently and work your core differently too. But you're able to work in here. You can work on moving your hands. You'll make it a little, like a little snake with it. You can do that standing. You can do that with both hands. You can try to, if maybe your hand that's affected can move a little bit, you may just do some, and this side can do more. Do them anyway. Do what you can here, what you can here. Do them together. Do all kinds of things to make it work, but stay safe, keep your core in, and have good posture. Okay. Another thing I want to show you guys. Now, this again is for safety first. Depending on you, let's get this ball over here. So, the balls. A really good exercise to do with this, when you're safe, when you're able, It's really good. Core, full body, shoulders, arm movements. And if your hand's having a hard time opening and pushing through your arm, this could help. And again, you go your own level. You may be able to do it and stay safe, but you do it horribly at first. As your body keeps trying to do things, your brain will start activating different motions. Okay, so take your ball. Again, core strong. Remember, these are different levels. You have to work your way up to things, but I know some of you guys are at this level now. So we're going to say this is my affected hand. And we'll say maybe I have a hard time opening it. Come to here. Get that hand down the best you can. Abs are in. You're going to come right here and balance. Just doing that can help you. Walking those hands out. And sometimes at first you have to kind of drag it and work it. And then move it back. Little tiny, tiny movements. You can go back and forth. You can walk out as far as you can. So with this, some people go way out, some people go little. It's working your spine, your core. Keep your body strong like a 2x4. Don't go out there and let your body hang down. So, for instance, get your balance, your abs, your shoulder set. Little tiny movements. As people get stronger, they go out further. But when you're out further, you want your body straight. Don't hang that back down. Stay up here. Little tiny movements, making that arm move. So again, that's another good way to help your arms, but it has to be when you're ready, in good form. Have someone with you, have a trainer with you. And like I'm saying, if your arm doesn't open up a lot and that arm's a little harder, work on opening it. You don't have to go as far, try to go out as far as I did at the end. That's just showing you that some people can do it. This has to be strong to sustain you to do it though. And the more you kind of play with your arms and that, you're working your core, you're making your brain work things all over the place. Okay, what was the other I was going to show you? You've got the ropes. The other day I showed you the pulling one. Pulling through here with the battle ropes. It's not set up for that right now. But, so I recently got another piece of equipment a few months ago. It's called anchor point training. It is fabulous. I'm going to turn it so you can see me a little bit over there. I have a lot of BOSU balls. Anyway, so let's turn it a little better. Okay, so anchor point training. This is one of the bands in that, and they're stretchy bands. They have handles. You can hook them on walls. There's a way you can hook them to your door at home. I have mine. I have two different options. I can move mine around. Right now, mine's anchored to the ceiling. So what a lot of my clients do at any age, but my stroke survivors, people working on walking abilities and the walking gait back, strengthening in here, learning where your feet are in space, spatial awareness. We pull this into here, work on feet placement. So this is pulling me both directions, but I'm holding it solid. So this is working core, balance, coordination, and I'm stepping sideways. So this helps strengthen your knees, your hips, your walking gait, knowing where the foot is in space, because most likely if you're having walking issues, this one of the foot's going to drag when you do that, or you have a hard time lifting it, or you have the spasticity so you can't move it. But again, you're hitting things from a different angle. And with the arms, you're holding them tight right here, so you're activating the muscles, holding them firm. So you're doing a lot of different things. You're holding this in. I have people step sideways with it and step back. You can, if able, do little squats. So when you're doing something like this with this kind of a band, and these are really thick material. It's not the rubber therapy bands. This is a real thick, stretchy material. They're actually called unbreakable. So when you're doing this, your brain is automatically coordinating where your weight has to be so you don't go woo to the floor or go swinging forward. And so when you're doing things like that, there's going to be things like subconsciously your body's going to kick in that you don't realize you still have. So I will give you an example. I had this woman, 76 I think, who was here. We're working together. And I had her by the bar, holding the bar, telling her, trying to train her how to do a little squat with a bar. She could not coordinate it. When I was talking to her, her brain's like, she's like, I don't understand. I don't get it. She couldn't comprehend how to make her body do it. But then I put her on one of these bands. It was actually hooked on something else at the time. And we were doing little these for arms. And I said, squat. She went in a perfect squat. Her brain knew how to coordinate the balancing, but she was trying to get it from another angle, trying to tell her brain to squat after the stroke, and it just wasn't computing through her body. But when she was put in a position where she would either swing forward or swing back, and I just told her to squat, automatically her body coordinated how to work with the resistance of the band. I didn't know it was going to happen. It was actually quite cool when we saw it. We got it in video too. So work with different things like that. There's a lot of ways to get through it. And also with the bands, working, and this is any kind of band, or if you're sitting in a machine at the gym, pulling, so your arms pull as well. If you can get your hand to grip on something and pull, or hold this hand and pull towards you, if the other hand's not working well, some people can clasp this hand in and make it follow the hand that's not affected in the arm. Like I'm saying, there's different ways to get there. So on here, since I have the two hands, sometimes we'll do we'll go this way. Sometimes we'll go this way. If they need help, they'll kind of hold both hands with one hand to make it work, making it follow. So remember, there's so many movements your arms do. Remember the pictures I showed you in those muscles. There's a lot of muscles there. Your arms need to learn to extend again. So if you're doing something to maybe you're good at pulling, let it extend you back out. So for example, wherever you're doing your bands, you have bands that are pull, somewhere where you're doing this movement. Pull it in and try to extend that hand out. If you're doing a push-up somewhere, make sure you push and try to extend through that arm. Start getting your extending muscles out, because in order for this to open up, you need all these extensor muscles to move. I have people, so you can take balls, big ones, little balls. I don't have a table here with me right now, but you can put your hands on like you're sitting down at a table, and you try to just roll your arm out with the, straightening it out, bring it back in, move it around in circles, roll it to the side, roll it in the middle. Just try to make movements happen. But often, if you have the other one helping, or have the other one do it and then this one do it, the brain's going to connect, but both arms should be doing the movement. So work both sides, because that's really good to do. If someone ever tells you that the best way to come back from your arm in a stroke is to pin down the arm that works well and to rely on this, it's not true. The body and the brain works together, and a lot of the activities we do, both arms are doing it with us. We don't usually go train solo unless you don't have a choice. But you think of all the activities you did before you had a stroke, or other people around us who haven't had strokes. A lot of things work as a team. You reach out for stuff. You don't usually pin something down to move. That's not the normal brain function, so it's not best to train that way. And maybe in some cases it worked, and that's okay, because things just work against the rules. And maybe it's not a rule. Sometimes you just don't know. But with my experience in studies, the brain crosses over. The brain needs to activate both sides. And for example, I have hearing aids. I have a really bad hearing loss. Some of you may not know that. And when I was getting my hearing test, this one I'm almost deaf in. The nerve on this ear is almost dead. I was just born that way. So I was getting my new hearing aids a couple years ago, and he was doing my testing. Well, I couldn't hear any of the sounds he was trying to do on this side. So what he had to do is make some sounds on this side to activate my brain to cross over to make this work. So that's just an example right there is how the brain works. And I know that because I've experienced it in that level. So let's see, I feel like there's so much to tell you. If you're sitting down and you're working, standing, sitting, whatever, but if you're sitting, make sure you're in a good position. I've shared in my other videos the height of chairs to make sure your chair is high enough that you're sitting comfortably. You're not sitting all squished with you don't want your knees above your hips. You want either your hips even with your knees or higher, and you want to be in good posture. So if you're, for example, if you're sitting at a table working with a ball, don't be like this. Get your posture nice. Even if you have to sit really close to the table, whatever helps you sit up, do it. And then work with your shoulders and arms here, because if your shoulder is a ball and socket and your arm moves with that ball and socket, if that ball and socket is pinned in your ear because you have your shoulders up, or you're rounded over, or both, you're going to limit many movements in your shoulders, and your brain's going to be trying to train malfunction and not proper function, and your brain's already having a hard time communicate. So try to put yourself in positions that's in more of a natural movement that the brain would know how to follow. Does that make sense? And the table ones, remember, you can roll the balls out, you can roll it to the side, you can make, stretch it out. Just keep your posture good as you're doing it. And when you're doing your hand exercises, so you've seen in the other videos, I use the BOSU ball and the balance disc. I actually have found, I love them both, great products as can be, but I experience and study has shown that the stimulate's a little different. So when I have my clients who really need their hands moving, if they're able to stand on here, I actually see a little more results than on the BOSU ball, but the BOSU ball's fabulous. I mean, I think they're both, I can't train without either one. So when you're on these, again, as I showed in the other videos, you're holding on with your good arm, or you're maybe just good at, balance is so good you can do it now. So let's say like I'm holding on or not, my affected side, when I'm doing my exercises, lengthen your arm out. So instead of staying in your face doing stuff, lengthen that arm and try to do it down here as well. You're gonna get more stimulation when you're on here. So try to lift your arm. Sometimes think of a movement, like one of my clients, I tell them wave this hand, and then this arm tries to wave. So this, when you're waving, it tries to do another movement. Think of, I'm reaching out. Try to do different movements. But waving is something that's natural. So this arm will automatically try to do something like this, and it may pull this way, it may pull forward, and then you might pick up on what movements you do have that you didn't know. Sorry, I'm trying to get that away. So try that on the disc, try it off the disc, but on the disc or the BOSU ball, there's something where you're stimulating your central nervous system more, you're firing up more things. The more things that fire up, the more chance that pathways are going to go shooting out to the new movements you're trying to get back. Try the battle ropes. They are fabulous. Learn about them. I wrote about them. I studied with them. Because when they first came out in the industry, everyone's doing it. I'm like, well, I don't want to just show people and do them because I see it. I wanted to know why. And it took me a while to find a course on it. And Nesta had a really good course on how they came out in the industry, which handles mean what. And I learned like hundreds of exercises to work with them. They are fabulous in neuro recovery if you do them properly. So there you go. I hope that helps. Remember the different exercises that therapists give you. If you can't do some, try the other ones. Try other things first, like maybe work with the ropes, work with that, play on the disc, and then sit down and do stuff. You might go, whoa, it works better. So warm up your core. So that's another thing. When you're on the balance disc or BOSU ball, working your balance, you're working the deep spine muscles and the other muscles, and your brain's coordinating and it's warming up your core too. It's getting you in proper. You're just working the body like it needs to work. So again, I am Tracy from Tracy's Personal Training, Pilates and Yoga Studio. Let's go over my books really quick. My recent book is The Power of Your Spine. I haven't shared too much about it, but it comes in black and white and color. It has muscles in it, what the muscles do. So if you're learning something and it has all the spine muscles and which muscles do what, In the back, I have things in the arms and the legs and some of the chest and stuff too, because if you're trying to get something back, if you don't know which muscles do certain movements, how are you going to know which muscles to work? So for instance, your deltoid flexes, it pulls you up. Things go away from the body, it's abducting. A B. I remember it as bye-bye, it's leaving the body. Things that adduct are adding back to the body, coming back down. And so this book gets into that a lot. It comes in black and white and colored, and it's in Kindle, it's in colored. Goes a little bit, shows stuff about how your spine is sitting in wheelchairs. And so basically it's an anatomy book of the spine and showing the different jobs of the muscles in the spine. If you look through here, you have so many muscles in the spine and the core. If these are not activated, it's going to be harder to bring back your walking, your feet, your leg, your hands, everything, because the center of your body is like a tree trunk. So that's what this book shows more in depth than the other books. And my book before that was Stroke Recovery, When Physical Therapy Ends But Your Recovery Continues. And this shows, I feel like I'm so far away. It has a chapter on muscles as well. It has things on the brain, things on nutrition, things on movement. There's a bunch of exercises in the back. It talks about how to use the disc and the BOSU ball, explains how it stimulates your central nervous system. This has helped a lot of people. If you can get things like this, it will help you have a better recovery. My second book was Tipping Towards Balance, and this is about spatial awareness. It has exercises in it as well. But this book has pretty much everything this book has in it, but more. So they both have, this has 8 exercises, the other one has a lot more. But this was put out when people were coming to me who were tripping over tree roots, losing their spatial awareness and walking, which seniors get, people with MS, different neurological challenges, stroke, just getting older and being weak. So I brought this one out. So this is like a fall prevention book and walking skills. But again, this is all in the stroke recovery book. Then my very first book I wrote was The Stroke of an Artist, The Journey of a Fitness Trainer and Stroke Survivor. And this was a man I trained who was fabulous. And some of you know this already, but he came to me 6 months post-stroke. He had pretty good therapy though. A lot of people come to me, they had horrible therapy. But he had pretty good therapy. 6 months post-stroke, but he was still in a walker. But after a couple visits, he would come with a cane and someone would come with him and help him. Then after a couple months, he would come up, they would drop him off and he would come in with his cane. But he couldn't sit on a ball. He didn't have core strength whatsoever at all. He had rotator cuff injury, hyperextended knee, because he had knee surgery a couple weeks before the stroke. He had all these things going on. But he was such a good story, and he would look around the gym and he just noticed how some of the trainers I worked with, they didn't have the skills or the education to back what they're doing, and he knew it. And he would sit there and say, what are they doing? I can't do that. I'm like, no, don't even try. So basically, you want to find a professional that has knowledge to train you properly. Because if you have a trainer or a fitness professional who claims there's something and they don't have the credentials to back it, you're going to be limited by their limited education. Because it's very common for people to get a quick, easy way down a one-day certification, put on their business card, specialists in anything they want to be in, but they don't have any credentials to match why they wrote the title. So if you're going to get with a professional, make sure they have this kind of knowledge that I'm sharing with you. Otherwise, your recovery will be limited by their education, and that's not fair. So anyway, his is a really encouraging story, and he wanted his story shared to help people. And he became the person who walk around the gym to other stroke survivors or see people in wheelchairs and say, don't give up, you can do this. I did it. So there you go. Those are my 4 books right there. And I also am on the Education Advisory Board for the MedFit Foundation. It's a company where they're trying to merge medical with fitness because there's a gap. People get so much therapy, and then there's this big open gap, and then they go to gyms. So we're trying to help merge that, getting fitness specialists more educated and getting medical specialists to find the people that can help after therapy ends. So anyway, and I wrote the stroke recovery exercise course for that company as well, so the professionals can do it. And my stroke recovery book is based on that course, but I kind of reworded it for caregivers and stroke survivors. So I hope this helps. Don't give up. Keep trying. Try different things. Don't injure anything to work something. So for instance, if you're doing something and your joint does not like a push-up, don't do it yet. And also check your form. Was your joint hurting because you're here? You put it in place and it doesn't hurt anymore. So monitor yourself. Find a professional who can help you. You can ask me questions. I try to help. And if you're in Orange County or Southern California, I will be speaking with the MedFit Foundation for 4 hours on stroke recovery and exercise to professionals and people who, I guess only professionals can come, I think. So in Irvine, California at UCI, and in July 2020, I'll be at the IDEA World teaching stroke recovery and exercise too. So we're trying to educate professionals. So if you have a professional you want to work with and they're willing to learn more, but they're not quite there, lean them towards some of my books or the course so they can help you further too. Anyway, have a great day. Don't give up.